Welcome back, I'm Felix, and I am reacting to... Now, uh, I'm reacting to the latest episode, but overall, I wanted to talk about the series. But first off, don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that out the way, Invincible, to me, is a good show. And I don't recall hearing a lot of complaints about it, but I know people have been complaining about it. Let's put it that way. Because I'll see people complain about the complainers. And it's like they're complaining about the animation, the voice acting, this and that. It's like, it gets to a point where if you don't like it that much, don't watch it. Just move on to something else. To me, that would be Halo for me. I couldn't stand Halo, this series. And I moved on to something else. I just never went back and watched. I couldn't even make it through the first episode. It's just like, what is this garbage? And it's just, wow. But, yeah, so if you don't like it, move on to something else. Obviously, people like Invincible. They're on season 3. So it's like, what is going on with the hate for Invincible? It's like, just move on. We're already going to, I think they're already scheduled to do season 4. And so, yeah. So let those who like it watch it. Now, with that said, I just wanted to talk about this last episode. What's it called? What Have I Done? Episode 7. So, spoilers, if you haven't seen it. Major spoiler. So you might want to, I hate to say it, you may not want to watch this video. I wanted to talk about things that went on. The different marks. Now, I had never read the comic book. But I knew there was different variants of Mark, and I knew they came and did a lot of damage. Watching Angstrom Levy, figure out how he lived. We saw that. And then at the end, we see he pays the price, like that creatures in the other world, they're like, you didn't live up to your end of the deal. And so it's like, you now belong to us. So they were ready for him. And then I knew Rex died in the comic books. I just didn't know when. And I figured out this was it because this was the episode because he said all the magic words. I'm happy. This is the happiest I've ever been. And he told Shrinking Way, nah, you stay here. I'll take care of this. And he's showing off for, I'm like, yeah, he's dead. And he died. He sacrificed his life to save his friends. And to me, it was reminiscent of Gambit when he sacrificed himself. I watched TikToks, after I watched the Invincible episode, I watched TikToks of guys just like, no. And it's like, yeah, that's what's about to happen. I knew he was going to... There is one thing I always wonder, and now that I think about it, I don't think Gambit did it either, where they didn't touch organic stuff to blow up, but they could blow up themselves pretty much. In Gambit's case, the thing that was going through him, he lit up, and boom. And Rex lit his body up. He stuck his hand in his wound and touched his bone. Oh, man. But he did it. And when that episode happened, it was just like, oh. And all I could think is, stop taking our best characters. So it was like, wow. All this death and destruction. And it was just like, even though I knew it was eventually going to happen, it was just like, wow. The way they played it out, it was very well written. A lot of people are saying they hope they do the same with the funeral, have a, touching moment and all that stuff. I do know one thing from the comic, so spoiler again, is that I believe Conquest kills Eve, and that's when her resurrection powers kick in. So, so I'm assuming if it goes the way the comic did, she'll wake up, probably join the fight, and again, I didn't read the comic, so I don't know if she was fighting along with Mark or not. But from what I remember, like synopsis and stuff of Conquest, no, he kills Eve. And I do know that Cecil keeps Conquest's body. So my question is this the fight that Mark finally wins, or what's going to happen? So it would be interesting. And I'm glad I missed the people celebrating Anissa being on the show, because people were talking about, "Ooh, I wish I was Mark so I could be with Anissa." It's like, do you not understand what happened? It's like, you're gross. But something similar happened with that in real life. Well, a soap opera in real life. There was a soap actor who was what's the word they use, rapist, on the show, and he started getting fan mail talking about, "Oh, you can come and do that to me anytime." He actually left the show for a while, and it's just like, yeah, I can't play this character for a while. So there's some sickos on both sides, and that's just gross. But anyway, this is just a short take on the episode. And the different variants of Mark were interesting. I know a lot of people when the one Mark that had the full mask on who missed his mom, like, what happened to his mom? Did he kill his mom? Because a lot of them killed their moms. So it's like, did he kill his mom, or she just got killed? And then the other Mark who missed William, people are implying that that one's gay. I don't know if that one's gay or straight. It could just be William's dead, and he misses his friend. But the TikToks are hilarious, talking about when William spent the night and they got sounds playing. But yeah, this has been a really good scene. People talking about filler episodes. I didn't think any of them were filler episodes. They all go together. And I think those who were calling these filler episodes missed it. They missed the subtleties of it. Because Pyroplex, he was being introduced because they, to get things going, the hatred for Mark and all that stuff. And they were introducing the evil variants, and they were introducing Invincible Inc. and all that stuff. And of course, that also led up to Mark, or Rex, making the ultimate sacrifice for everyone. Because those weren't filler episodes, those were character building episodes. They were leading up to something, and they did. They led up to the Invincible War. Now, they led up to something. They weren't just filler episodes. I don't think you know what a filler episode is when you say filler episode. Filler episodes are episodes that literally have nothing to do with the storyline. They only are doing so many episodes. I think they're doing 8 episodes. So they're not going to waste their time with filler episodes. So if you honestly believe they're going to waste an episode as a filler episode, you're insane. No, none of them were filler episodes. Watching Oliver, oh my God. The Oliver and Debbie moment, he's trying to go out there to help his big brother. Debbie's like, "No, please don't go." That was a moment. I like the fact that Oliver got it, why Debbie was trying to stop him. And, he hugged his mom before he went off to fight. Another spoiler. I don't know if they're going to get that far along in the story. I do know Oliver dies. Not as a kid, it's much later, but so if the show is on for that long, it depends on what all they, because the comic book was out for 15 years, so they got a lot to work with. On the one hand, the story's over, so they could pick and choose what they want to do, depending on how long the series goes on for. But one thing I realized about Invincible is if you get to like a character, they're going to kill them off. But even Donald got out there in the fight and was, throwing. We didn't get to see it, but he was out there throwing hands too. I think one of the things about season 3 also that a lot of people hated was the character arc for Rex. What I mean by hate it is like we watched him grow. We watched him fall in love. We watched him be happy. And at the beginning of the episode, when he talked about being happy and all this stuff, as soon as he said, "This is the happiest I've ever been," I was like, "Oh God, he's gonna die." That was my reaction. It's like, "Oh God, he's gonna die." This is the episode. And then he did it, and then they showed the shadow, the explosion, and it's just like, Gambit. I was thinking Gambit, because when Gambit died, grown men were crying, and when Rex died, grown men were crying. So people who think cartoons can't be emotional or be as good as live action, you need to get over yourself, because there are some very emotional animation out there, and they're not all Disney. So yeah, but yeah, this is just a short view. Conquest. I know I talked about the voice, not being comic book accurate, but I do know. Now I want to start off, or I should state that I've never read the Invincible comic books. Honestly, I have no desire to. I just like the animated side. With that said, I do know Conquest in the comic books, I believe, kills Eve, and that's when her first resurrection takes place. So I'm kind of wondering how they're going to do that, because right now Eve's in a coma. Like I said, I didn't read the comics, so I don't know if she was in a coma and they came out of it and went to help Mark, or what happened. So it'll be fun to watch. There is a difference between a story being spoiled and knowing what's going to happen and seeing it animated. And what I mean by that, with Daredevil, I didn't know they were going to kill Froggy off. Because the way they made it, like everybody was coming back for the new season. So I was like, oh, they're all going to be there. And then they kill him off in the first episode. And then versus knowing that this character is going to die and just not knowing what episode it's going to happen in. There's a difference. Because you can, like, when people read a book and it gets turned into a movie, it's the thought of, oh my God, I get to actually see this book turned into something. And that's kind of like this feeling, in the sense that, again, I never read a comic book. I didn't even know the comic book existed. But seeing it get animated, knowing that it was a comic book that got animated, to me that's always really cool. Just that they took it and animated it, and they didn't tone it down, because a lot of times that happens, especially with Marvel comics. They tone it down, and then with X-Men 97, they did not tone it down, which was nice. So, and even in the original X-Men animated series, even though it was toned down, it was still, they didn't talk down to us. So that's what Invincible feels like. Like, it was definitely for adults. Even the show's for adults. And so when people complain about it, it's like, just stop watching it. There's other stuff out there. Go watch it. Oh, but I'm a fan of the comic book. Great. Be a fan of the comic books. You don't have to crap on this. Example of crapping on is like Halo. I didn't like Halo, so I didn't watch it. Let me rephrase it. I liked Halo, the video game. Big fan of it. The TV show, to me, was crap, so I didn't watch it. Couldn't even make it through the first episode. And I know it got a season 2. I think more people hate watched it like they did Velma. Hate watched it, and so it got a season 2. But yeah, at this point, we're on season 3, so you can't say it's hate watched it, keeping it on. It's good. And I think a lot of people were just complaining just to complain. So it's like, either stop complaining or just move on. But this episode was definitely emotional. One thing they talked about was Tech Jacket, I believe that's the name. Took out Mustache Mark. The Viltrumite, I think they call him the Viltrumite Mark. And some were wondering if they gender swap Tech Jacket, and they were doing some freeze frames, and it's quite possible they didn't swap it out. It was just the design, and we won't know until later. Really, the gender swap, worked for Shrinking Ray. Maybe if they did, who knows? Or maybe they went a different direction in the sense that maybe they didn't gender swap, but I don't know. We'll see. It'd be nice if we found out in this episode. But I like how they introduced a lot of characters. And a lot of people, I saw people commenting on the characters. Oh my God, they got that character. They got that character. I guess they really wanted Spawn to be in here, but that didn't happen. I think that would have been awesome. I liked Spawn. I used to watch the cartoon on HBO. And again, that cartoon is not for kids. Definitely not for kids. But yeah, Spawn. I think that would have been really cool if they could have got Spawn in there. But it is what it is. Although some of the marks were interesting, like the Mohawk mark was nuts. Then there was like two marks that had capes. I guess one was supposed to be Omni Mark and Invincible Mark with a cape. But there were two who seemed like they were just sad, like something happened that was out of their control or something like that. The one that missed his mom and the one that missed William. And so many people felt the one who missed his mom. They want him to have a happy ending, but we don't know all what he did. At least those of us who are just watching the animation. And the comic books, he could have been straight up, a Smittler, and the other one who missed William. Now, they're assuming that one was gay. I don't know why. Guys can miss other guys without it being gay. But even so, if it's because, again, I didn't read the comic books, maybe he's gay in the comic books. But I do like the TikToks talking about Debbie in one room and listening to William and Mark in the other room. So I did, those I found funny. So I did like it when Oliver thought he saw Mark and it turned out it wasn't Mark. It was like, oh crap. And he's like, oh, I wasn't worried about Oliver dying unless they were going to rewrite it. I wasn't worried about Oliver dying, so I was like, good. But yeah, and the fact they had all those other superheroes fighting and getting their butts kicked and killed, it's like, and you watch them mourning the deaths of their comrades and stuff. It's like, this was a good episode. So if you haven't watched it, I suggest you get up and watch it because you're going to get a lot of spoilers. So overall, Invincible is a good show. If you're still complaining about it after all this time, go watch something else. It's one thing to critique a show, but to constantly complain about it, you need to get a life. So my take on Invincible so far, I'm going to keep watching it. It's kept my attention. Granted, I wish it wouldn't take them 2 years to get a season out. Because I was talking to my daughters, like when I was a kid, there were weekly cartoons and even or daily cartoons. They were cranking them out every day. And I don't know what's happened between then and now. This is a show where, look at The Simpsons. They don't have that big a gap in between. So this is not a critique on the show itself, but just the delay of getting it out. Because I would love to have more Invincible, but but I understand, the actors who do the voices. Because there used to be a time when you either did TV or you did movies. You didn't do both, but now everyone's doing both. So the actors get gigs, they go and do those. Because you got pigeonholed into, if you sign up for a TV show, boom, that was it. You were there and you shot and that was that. But it's not like that anymore. And it's not easy getting used to, I'll be honest with you. But as long as they keep cranking them out, as long as they don't do like anime and start doing 5-year gaps, it's like, because which one was it? Attack on Titan? I forgot all about it when it finally came back. But yeah, I wish they could kind of come out a little faster, but it is what it is. As long as they keep putting out quality work, I don't have a complaint. Not a real one anyways. I guess you say I have legitimate critiques, but otherwise, no complaints. I'm not going to sit here and complain constantly like some people. It's like, if I really didn't like it or if it really bugged me that much, I would just not tune in. But oh well, those people just need to get a life. But overall, like I said, the show's great. I'm gonna keep watching. As long as they keep being consistent with the work, I'll definitely keep watching. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely check out Invincible. It's a great show. And everyone take care. Later.